Good morning, beloveds. Foster's in here and he's very talkative, so he may or may not make comments during this. So, let's get on this. It's a beautiful sunny day out there today. All right, it is November 15th. Our title is Why We Believe, and this is by Hazel Foster Holmes, and Hazel was Ernest Holmes' wife. I believe this is one of the pieces that Jesse has used for inspiration. So, this was published in Religious Science Monthly in February of 1929. Why we believe. Because we live, we hope, and we express. Because we feel the vital fires of life. Because faith is potential, innate, and universal. Because religion is a natural impulse. Because idealism is the pivot on which life evolves. Because spirituality is the stabilizing force of humanity. Because through meditation we reach the source of reality. Because contemplation reveals the essence of being. Because of roses, moonbeams, and desires. Because of dreams, poetry, and stars. Because of the laughter of children, the singing of birds. Because of the sun-kissed mountains, babbling brooks, and laughing winds. Because of the odor of flowers is the incense of heaven. Because of God's lullaby, crooned by waves and swaying trees. Because the blue sky is the dome of the real cathedral. Because imagination is fanned by angels' wings. Because of friendship, loyalty, sympathy, and toleration. Because of justice, affability, fidelity, and philanthropy. Because of the availability of our reliable servant law. Because thought, the director of healing, demonstrates perfect results. Because truth is free to all, undivided, impartial. Because of inspiration caught by the soul of genius. Because of the delicately balanced scheme of things. Because we sense the architect silently functioning within. Because climbing the ladder of ideas, divinity appears. And because love, unanalyzable, is the motivating, energizing cause. And that's the interesting thing about science of mind. One of our call tags is, we don't teach you what to believe, we teach you how. And so what Hazel did there is not what, but why. And it is a little bit of my favorite things. If you've seen The Sound of Music, you know the song I'm talking about. And also, because she listed the things that we can see, she listed the things that we can feel, and she listed the things that we believe in, justice and love and, and feeling the architect within. And so, and that's, and I think, because she mentioned religion, and we are definitely a spiritual teaching. Religion is definitely far more organized than we are. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because religion teaches you what to believe. In Science of Mind believes you know what to believe. They just teach you how. And so that piece that she wrote is why. Let me give you all of the reasons why we believe that there is a patterning intelligence, why we believe there is a source of our being, why we believe in all of these things, why we believe in justice and mercy and truth. We believe because we believe that all of these things came from a source. Ironically, I was watching a Hallmark movie, right? And she was talking about the difference between uninterested and disinterested. And they're not the same thing. Uninterested is exactly what it sounds like. I'm not interested in the topic. Disinterested means that they have no stake in the game. Now, I wouldn't say that God is disinterested, but I would say that God is far more disinterested than uninterested. Because God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, is having an experience through us. But when I say God is disinterested, because God's going to have the experience, whatever experience we have. And so it's up to us to choose what kind of experience we have. God isn't going to choose that for us. That's why God gave us free will, so that we could choose for ourselves what kind of experiences that we have. And so if we're having a non-preferred experiences, God gave us the right to choose again. God gave us the right to choose again. So, pieces like that are just a reminder that science of mind wants you to know who you are. And science of mind is not going to tell you who you are. But what science of mind is going to do is set up guideposts and set up lamps and set up safe spaces where you can discover it for yourself. We're like the Gnostics in that way, in that your relationship with God is between you and God. And we will facilitate that in any way that we can, but we are not going to get between you and God. Mostly because we can't. A lot of religions like to put all of these things between you and God. I grew up Catholic, so we had priests and saints between us and God. In science of mind, it's like, no. Now, you can use them as intercessors if you want, but you don't need them. You have the right and the ability to go directly to God, to spirit, to the source of your own being. So, Hazel, like I said, that's Ernest Holmes' wife. And Reverend Jesse did use that one. I don't remember when he used that one. But it was one of the pieces that got his attention, that got him to buy the book. And when he did it, I was like, I kind of want that book now. So, and conveniently, it's a 365. So, all right. And there's more. She's got other writings. She wrote fairly frequently, I think, for a time in the Science of Mind magazine. So if you're interested in seeing what else Hazel Holmes might have done, I suggest you go to the Science of Mind archives. I'm not sure if they're finished yet, but I know that they were working on a project where they were going to digitize the entire run of Science of Mind magazine. So then you would be able to search for particular authors and particular articles. And she had raised the last bit of money. It's just a matter of then sitting down and doing it. She's been using volunteers to do that. So I don't know if that project is finished or not. So check out Science of Mind archives if you're interested in seeing what else Hazel Holmes may have written. All right. So if I was going to choose a mission today, the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to list your reasons why you believe. She gave you a whole list of beautiful reasons why she believed. Well, what are your reasons? What is it that encourages you to believe in something bigger than yourself? And you can use the word God, or you can use the word justice, or you can use the word love, or you can use the word spirit, or you can use patterning intelligence, or whatever it is that you want to use. What are your reasons for believing? Why? Why do you believe? And that is not an easy mission, but might be very helpful in pulling some stuff out of you that you didn't know was in there. All right, the other mission is the same mission I give you every day, which is the spiritual practice of self-care. To do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. Be it one thing, be it three things, it doesn't matter. The point is to practice on yourself. I say this because you are your own best test subject. You get immediate feedback. You also, I'm trying to encourage you to create a habit. Ideally, what I would like is that everything you do for yourself and for others to be loving, kind, and compassionate. And that doesn't mean you don't do the hard stuff. It just means when you do the hard stuff, you do it lovingly. It's possible. In the Eastern mindset, they call it loving kindness. What we would call tough love, they call loving kindness. It's like, yeah, no, I have to make this decision, and it's going to be hard for both of us, but it's the most loving decision I can make. So, spiritual practice, love, kindness, compassion, practice on yourself. And it can be as simple as taking a deep breath before you speak. All right? Take a walk, take a nap, take a break. They're all basic suggestions. You know what's going on in your life, and you know where you need some love, kindness, and compassion. So practice on yourself. I also like to say eat dessert first. And the reason I say that is because I realized what that meant is don't save the good stuff. I mean, yeah, I believe that chocolate is the first step to fixing anything, but when I say don't save the good stuff. I'm encouraging you to take all of those things that we use for like holidays, fancy clothes, fancy shoes, fancy dishware, and pull them out on an ordinary Tuesday. And go ahead and make an ordinary Tuesday extraordinary. And just do it a little more often. A little more often. All right. And then I also want to remind you that joy is a quality of God. Why do I say this? Because the world's crazy, and the material world is crazy. I make no bones about that. You get up, you turn on the news, you turn the news back off, and you want to go back to bed. Joy is a quality of God. No matter what is going on in the world, no matter what is going on in your life, you still deserve joy. So I encourage you to make room for that. However it is that you can make room for joy. Be it that you pull up a favorite memory, be it that you call a good friend or family member, be it that you snuggle with a fur baby, whatever it is that brings you joy, make sure that you make room for that in your life regularly. That's what hope tastes like. All right. Well, and in my case, chocolate and peppermint, but hey. I just found out the peppermint no-name cakes are back at Mod Pizza, and I'm like, ooh. And I don't eat a whole lot of pizza for a variety of reasons, but their cauliflower crust is pretty good. So I'm down with this. All right. So you can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself. The rest of the suggestions are basic, easy. Do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like for you. Drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. I talk about it all the time. I don't talk about it quite as much. I just remind you to do it because your brain works better, your body works better, and your skin looks better when you are well hydrated. And it's super important when it's really hot, but also once you've turned your heat on, and in the colder months, we don't tend to drink as much, and that heat can be very drying, especially for your skin. So drink plenty of water. It was very sunny this morning, so I did get that the 5 to 7 minutes of, sun between 7 and 9 in the morning. That's just what science says is the safest and best angle to support your vitamin D levels. That's why I say between 7 and 9. Because they tell you to stay out of the sun between 10 and 2. And it's only 5 to 10 minutes. It doesn't take much. And if you get up before the crack of dawn or go to bed, or get up much later because you work a different shift, artificial light will help. And if you need a little more support than artificial light, Google sun lamp or seasonal effect disorder lights. At this point, I think you can just buy a light bulb. You can screw into a lamp you already have. So, won't be too expensive, but very helpful. And then, as always, I'm going to give you my Ernest Holmes quote. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. What Hazel was talking about, where she was listing out the reasons why we believe, is what that quote is about. Heaven isn't a place that we have to get to. It is a mindset that we create. And she listed all of the reasons why, and I'm sure she's got far more than just that, why she believes in God, why she believes that God is the source of all, why she believes in heaven. Okay? If Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you, then heaven is a mindset. It is a state of consciousness. When we walk around and look at the world and we see God looking back at us, it should rock us back on our heels. Because if it doesn't rock us back on our heels, we ain't paying attention. When you see those gorgeous sunrises and those gorgeous sunsets, and you realize that there is an artist who creates art, whether or not we see it. every single day, and it only lasts for as long as it lasts. It should rock us back on our heels. So when heaven ceases to be a place that we have to get to, and we realize that it's a mindset, then we realize that heaven can be any place we are. That's where it becomes a superpower. And that is what comes pre-installed with us with the Christ consciousness. I talk about the Christ consciousness like it's software, mostly because my mom's an electrical engineer. Because we come pre-installed with it. And the way to access that, the password is love. And I will let you run with that. You can always, in creating this heavenly mindset, take Emma Curtis Hopkins' advice, look for the good and praise it. Or, as somebody else says, count your blessings. Okay? That's just another way of saying it. And science does tell you that one of the best ways to change a mood, like if you're in a non-preferred mood, you're in a grumpy mood, as I like to say, volunteer work, random acts of kindness, guaranteed to change, like literally guaranteed. Science says they will help change your mood. So look for the good and praise it. Especially when you look at all the little good, because that's what adds up to the big good. It's like, yeah, you can look for the big good, but why not look at all the little good and watch it create that avalanche that creates this enormous good that is your life. You'll find that there's a lot more than you think there is. And that's the point of looking. All right. I think I'm at the social media part where I remind you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. So I commend all of that to you. There are literally thousands of hours of content on the YouTube channels. I know mine's over 1,000 because I've got 4 years of 365s. So, whatever you need, you can probably find there. And on both channels is this thing called You, which is my favorite Ernest Holmes book. And on the Creative Life Spiritual Center, the playlist, the soul sessions, that is pretty incredible. All right. Deep breath. And I'm going to remind you, email. If you want to know what's going on with the center, email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact. Okay. Now, I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. A figure out what you believe day. A figure out why you believe day. A look around and see God looking back at you day. A take a deep breath day. A talk to your fur babies day. A wellness Wednesday, because that's what I'm about to have. A busy day, or a restful day, or a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You're enough, just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. You are spirit in motion, God in action, a brilliant light, a divine spark, or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, a godling. All right? Know the truth of your being. And the only person who can tell you the truth of your being is you. So you can peel back the layers of what? Religion and culture and society and all of those nonsense, let's stuff you into this box label, stuff. Peel it all away. Peel back the stuff that people have told you you are and get to know who God knows you to be. Because I can promise you one thing. When you get to know who God knows you to be, that person is really good and probably pretty cool. All right? So just peel all that off. Get to know who you are. All right, beloveds. You have your mission. You have your spiritual practice. You have all the stuff you get to do today. I need to move into the process of my day. So I'm going to remind you, Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. You got to give him a little bit of grace because he is out of the country at the moment. But he's been doing it from wherever he is. And I will be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself and know that you are loved.